welcome to our first episode of If It Isn't Love. I'm your host, Danisha, and this is my wonderful co-host,
JL Woodson.
JL, that's bae-ass. I'm really excited about this podcast. It was kind of something that I've thought about for a little minute, but I didn't know how he felt about doing something like this. I didn't know. And I already have a podcast with my friend, and then I wanted to do a solo podcast. And I think part of it was I really wasn't getting to the swing of things. I love to talk, but what I realized is I like the idea of having a co-host. But I wanted something very different from Woke and Ratchet. And so when I suggested, the timeline is, I really just mentioned this like 4 days ago, something like that. And now we're like recording, have our cover art like already up and running. So I'm excited, and I will give you credit because you came up with the title.
Thank you. Give me my flowers.
It was really good because I think it was last Tuesday because I remember so it's been a week, and I mentioned it last Tuesday because I remember I was at cycling class, and cycling is tonight, and that's when I saw that you said like, how about If It Isn't Love? And I was like, and the hurt part is that I really want to be able to do If It Isn't Love, like, but we don't yet have the monies to pay for
no copyrights yet
of that kind of popular track. So we got something different, which you heard already. So this podcast is, we just kind of like launched it today, and I've already had people say like, oh, is it like a relationship advice?
No. We are not experts on relationships at all. We are just two people in a relationship that love each other.
Yes, this is just us. Now, it will be chronicling our journey through our relationship. So we'll have conversations about some of the things that, how we overcome certain things, just some different milestones. But we want to talk about all kinds of topics and just kind of our perspective as individuals, but also our perspective as a couple, as individuals in a coupleship.
Coupleship.
It's a word.
It is.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look that up.
It should be a word. And kind of our interaction. We can absolutely answer questions about relationships, but we're not experts. It is just our opinions, what works for us. One of the things that kind of like when people always say like, oh, you guys are so cute, which I think we are cute together. I mean, individually, I think we're attractive as well. But I think that we're cute together. But, I would never want to be like, couple goals, because being in a relationship has taught me that a lot goes into it, right? And clearly everybody in social media world, on Facebook and Instagram, we only post the highlights, right? We're never posting when we're fighting. Like no one sees that part.
I think also it's just way too much pressure to be just that face of a couple, to be like, because we always thought like Will and Jada were, couple goals and everything like that, and then stuff happened with them, and all of a sudden like you see them in a different light, I guess. Like I don't, but I feel like a lot of the times having that portrayal of being a nice or cute couple and everything like that, sometimes it does put on added pressure that I don't think either one of us want, because like we do have our flaws, we do have our insecurities and imperfections and everything like that. But I think what makes us great, or at least a good couple, is the fact that we work at it.
Yeah. So far, I'll keep them. So it's working so far. But then, like you mentioned, like Will and Jada. The thing with that is that people have this idea of what a couple should be, or what they think someone is, and so people might think that Will and Jada are the perfect couple. In my opinion, them didn't necessarily change because it works for them. And so I think that my hope is that people will gain insight into how we work through some things and how we live our lives together, how we fused our lives together and that kind of thing. But understanding that this is how this works for us. And it may work for you. It may not work for you. That ain't what we're here for. We're kind of here just to share our journey, share our story. But also we might be talking about things that have nothing, that are not directly related to our relationship or relationship stuff in general. Like I would like to talk about a lot of the things that are going on in society. And of course, there is some of the perspective coming from a cishet woman and then coming from a cishet man and you know how that those identifying roles give different perspectives on the world we live in. So True. I'm excited because I think that we do have a kind of unique relationship in a lot of ways. I'm also interested to see how open you're gonna be.
Oh God.
Now, okay.
I'm pretty open.
Yeah. But I mean like in front of like the world. Because okay, this is my theory. I know you, right? Okay. Now after being together for like this last year and a half. And there are things that have surprised me about who you are really that from the outside I didn't see.
Like what?
It's not ready. This is just a trailer. People aren't ready for that.
Okay.
But I'm interested to see how much of that you want to share. I think also just being very kind of, this is weird because I always think about it, even though it's podcasting, there is an element of like reality TV, you know, that whole kind of where it's like, this is our life, but clearly we're curating it to some extent to make it palatable for the world. But how are you vulnerable, and I don't just mean you, I mean us, how to show vulnerability and openness while still maintaining a level of privacy, right? Because there is this kind of thought that, you know, I know people like when you post a lot, like on social media, people think that they know you. Right. But I'm like, you know what I post. There's still so many facets of me. You have no idea. Even when you share, like I might share things about like my anxiety and stuff like that. So people might know some very personal things about me, but it doesn't mean you know me.
Right.
And so I think that that'll be fun to balance some of those aspects. I think for me, I would like to kind of watch how open you are, and then I can gauge what I can do, like what I can say and stuff like that.
I don't think
I know your mama's gonna listen.
Oh God.
She's definitely gonna. My mom, she's not allowed to have social media. She can't have nothing. She just got an iPhone, no apps.
You know, we already see what my mom posted or shared from our graphic.
Your mama's hilarious.
She is. Goodness. I mean, there's certain things that I like, you know, I feel like my mom and I would like, we could talk about a lot of stuff, but you know, there are some things where I'm like, yo, like I really don't want her to hear that because I wouldn't want to hear it from her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think it would be too difficult to be open as much with public.
Yeah. I just feel like I know that your mom listens to Woken Ratchet. So at this point, I feel like I can say whatever anywhere because she probably just like, oh, my baby in love with a heathen.
I mean, she know I ain't no saint. She would like to probably keep that idea, but I mean, in reality, she know I'm not.
You're not.
You know what?
You
ain't have to
just tell them the truth. So I'm really excited about this project. And I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told you. I'm really appreciative of, so mushy. Ugh. It's not going to be all mushy, y'all, I promise. Of the, like, this is part of why, like, sometimes, like, I get confirmation of, like, why this works. Is because it's like, I have this idea and I know you have a certain skill set. And it was kind of like, I didn't have to, like, poke and prod. It was like, do you want to do this? And it's like, yeah, I want to do this. And then let me insert my talents to make this happen. And I appreciate that. It's really exciting so that it's not like, oh, well, what part are you going to do? Are you going to do this part? Like, no. So it's like, okay, like, let's just make this symbiotic. It's helpful that we live together. So that helps. you know, because we can just run ideas by one another.
Yeah, just walk right into the living room and like, hey, I got an idea. And then go right back to the bedroom or something.
Exactly. Well, don't say it like that.
Oh.
But yeah. Oh, hush. But yeah. Well, yeah, like that. So I'm excited. We don't have any necessarily like any segments planned or anything like that, but I would like to play like different games, like couples games that I've seen like on Instagram. I think we should have a segment or something where we ask like questions and we try to see kind of like, you know, what is that, like a newlywed game where it's like what would he say or what would she say, stuff like that. So I'm excited. Are there any things that you want to see from this podcasting journey?
I think the great thing about doing this is the fact, like, well, we do talk, but at the same time, like, there's still a whole lot of stuff that I need to know about you.
Is there? Are there?
I mean, we are always changing. Like, just like, I feel like this will open up. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I know about you. Yeah. But I feel like this will open up a little bit more room. Like, stuff that we probably haven't thought to ask each other.
Okay.
When it comes to, like, understanding each other or just where each other's mindsets are. So that's what I think.
In the gutter. That's where mine is. Just kidding. So yeah, that's good. So make sure you listen. First full episode launches next Wednesday, which I believe is September 30th. It's either September 30th or October 1st. What's the day? The 22nd?
Mm-hmm. Come on, quick math.
8th, 9th, 30th.
Carry the 2.
Yes, it is September. It is September 30th. So Wednesday, September 30th, you can find us. And so it'll be easy. We're on all the platforms starting off because I actually replaced and that's that on that podcast with this one. So we don't have the waiting period to have to wait to be on everything. So we're already on everything. We're on Anchor. We're on Apple Music. Go ahead and follow us so that you can get notified when our first episode and every subsequent episode drops. We're going to have that hot fire. Babe, insert a sound effect. Can you insert sound effects?
Yes.
Insert one right there. I dropped the ball and make it an explosion.
Oh my God.
Maybe not not the trailer, but at some point I want sound effects. So that's all I got. You know, we're keeping it short and sweet. It's just the trailer.
Awesome.
So listen to us. We will be here and tell people to listen. I think people are going to listen to this.
Yeah. And also on Instagram.
Yes. On Instagram. Oh, yeah, I can like Drea. On Instagram, it's at If It Isn't Love Podcast. Yes. If It Isn't Love Podcast. Not If It Isn't Love Pod. Because I found out somebody else has this podcast name. But they haven't had an episode in a long time. And it's a totally different premise. And when I saw it, I was like, but I already like this name. So it is what it is. So on Instagram, where If It Isn't Love Podcast, it won't be hard to find us. There are pictures of us, or there's a picture of us. So it's easy to find. Go ahead, follow us, tell other people to follow us. And that's all we got for right now, right?
Yep.
Intro out.